Good evening and welcome to the Problem of Being Awake. I want to talk about immigration and I'm going to hit some hard truths here because we're a small island. We're up to almost 80 million people. That's probably more than we should have ever had. We can't take in more people. We just can't. We can't do it economically. We can't make it viable. The amount of money we're spending on immigrants in the UK at the moment is tripling every year. And so there's a few things that would need to be done to stop that. One is an adaptation which has worked in the past, something called developed vetting, which is if you need high-level security clearance, then you have to go through the developed vetting process, which takes a year. And in that year, you have to agree to be followed at any time, anywhere, and ask questions about where you've been at any time on any day. Now, that would seem intrusive, but it's generally used for you to then be able to get the security clearance you need to do the job you need within central government or for the security services that require that. So it's not a draconian measure in that respect because it is part of what's needed to get the job, and you want the job, therefore you're happy with it. I've been through it myself, so it's not something that I found intrusive. I didn't find it at all, although I did notice a couple of people over the course of a year. But I think an adaptation of that must be applied to any asylum seekers coming in, because we've got to know why, where they're coming from, what is their reason for seeking asylum. Anyone who's coming in as an economic migrant, I think we have to turn away straight away. We don't have the economy. We don't have the jobs for you. So an economic migrant coming to Britain, I think we have to say absolutely no. No, you can't. I'm sorry. We're full. We are full up. And quite frankly, a lot of us are fed up. But certainly we are full up. So if you're an economic migrant, go and do it somewhere else. Go to the other parts of Europe where they have a weaker economy and try and make your life there. If you're a genuine asylum seeker, which seems to be less and less these days, if you are, then there has to be a criteria, and it has to be monitored over a short or let's say a year's period of time. Because what we can't have is what's going on in America, which is, they found out they've suddenly got 33,000 members of the Chinese Communist Party immigrated into America this year alone. We can't have that kind of thing happening. There's enough people living in this country who hate Western society. So we can't allow for an immigration policy that allows more people like that to come into the country. It's been shown in all of the pro-Palestine marches. The worst, I think, and the most disgusting is when a guy put down, and this was just on Saturday and the Remembrance weekend, and he put down his Free Palestine placard, put it down to talk to a journalist. He said, what needs to happen is that all these Jews need to be sent back to Hitler's backyard in Germany. And by the way, that's in Austria. We didn't know that, but we'll see. And the guy said, so are you saying we should treat them like Hitler? He said, well, put it this way. At least Hitler knew how to deal with these people. And then he picked up his Free Palestine march thing, placard, and carried on the march. He goes down as a peaceful marcher, and that's important to remember, because there were plenty of unpeaceful marchers on the Palestinian side, more than on the horrible other right-wing hooligan side. I don't agree with that at all. That's awful. But that's always been awful. We don't like those guys. They don't speak for Britain. They like a riot. But on the pro-Palestine side, I have to say, policemen weren't injured on the right-wing side, but they were by the left-wing side. I'm doing left wing for you, but that's right for me. One was shot in the stomach by a firework at close range, I believe, and that's quite dangerous because that's a projectile. And more Palestinians were arrested than on the other side. So And, they were shouting in English, "Kill all the Jews, kill all the Jews, kill all the Jews." I'm sorry, we can't have it in this country. It's got to be stopped. It's got to be curbed, stopped, and then policies need to come in. If people are coming in and they are genuine asylum seekers, where are they coming from? Why do they need asylum in England? These are the questions we need to ask. We need to stop with this left-wing, humanitarian, everything that any minority might want should be granted, even if it means that anyone who's been in this country, born and raised, needs to suffer because of it. We need to protect these vulnerable, increasing groups of different types of minorities who band together whenever there's a minority crisis. They all become one. If you'll notice, they all do. And it's really not... It's not cool. I mean, you look at it in America and you've got the BLM have signed up for the pro-Palestine march. That's kind of... to me, that's as someone I consider myself to be quite intellectual, that's destroys both your arguments. You can't just pick up the placard of a newly oppressed or a previously oppressed minority and link it to your minority, because you have your own marches. So, we're so liberal in this world now, too much so by a long way. We've let the liberal left take over far too much. But we're so liberal that we just let all this go. And they just join in together on various marches. So all minorities just march together for minority issues. But it's not that simple, and it is dangerous. So I'll leave it there. If you liked it, subscribe and share. If you didn't, you probably stopped listening. So that's fine. Good night.